COVID variant XBB 1.5 spreading rapidly in the US. Spain tobacco firms must pay to clean up cigarette butts. Son of drug lord El Chapo nabbed in Mexico. World's most wanted human trafficker arrested in Sudan. Edward Norton is direct descendant of Pocahontas. US diplomats agree to spelling change of Turkey. Panasonic to stop making rice cookers in Japan. Sudan recorded highest goat production in 2022.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on FUNDAY News. It's Saturday, January 7th, and here are your top stories. According to data from the US CDC, the latest COVID variant, code XBB 1.5, grew exponentially over the month of December, from about 1% of cases nationwide to 40% as of December 31st. The World Health Organization's senior epidemiologist, Maria Van Kerkhove, said XBB 1.5 is the most transmissible Omicron subvariant that has been detected so far. It spreads rapidly because of the mutations it contains, allowing it to adhere to cells and replicate easily.
The WHO said it does not have any data on severity yet, or a clinical picture on its impact. It said that it saw no indication that its severity had changed, but that increased transmissibility is always a concern. Van Kerkhove said the WHO was unable to attribute the increase in hospitalizations in the northeastern United States to the variant currently, given that many other respiratory viruses were also in circulation. XBB 1.5 is likely to spread globally, but it remains unclear if it will cause its own wave of infections around the world.
According to new environmental regulations, tobacco companies will now be charged to clean up cigarette butts off the streets and beaches of Spain. The new rules came into force on Friday, January 6, 2023, but it remains unclear how they will be implemented. The new rules make manufacturers responsible for collecting discarded butts as well as transporting them for waste treatment. Ireland introduced similar legislation on Thursday, requiring tobacco companies to contribute to the cost of cigarette litter.
Figures from 2020 show that around a fifth of adult Spaniards smoke every day. A report by the Catalan Reserve Foundation estimated that local authorities in Catalonia were paying between 13 to 22 per inhabitant per year on road cleaning of cigarettes. The new rules are part of a law passed last year banning single-use plastics like cutlery and straws. Spain has introduced a host of sweeping measures to curb smoking in recent years. Last July, smoking was banned on all of Barcelona's public beaches, with offenders being fined $32.
Mexican security forces capture Ovidio Guzman, an alleged drug trafficker wanted by the United States and one of the sons of former Sinaloa cartel boss Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, in a pre-dawn operation Thursday that set off gunfights and roadblocks across the western state's capital, Cuquillan. The U.S. DEA's former chief of international operations, Mike Vigil, said on Thursday that Ovidio Guzman was involved in all of the cartel's activities, especially the production of fentanyl.
A 2018 U.S. federal indictment in Washington, D.C. accused the younger Guzman of conspiring to distribute cocaine, methamphetamine, and marijuana in the U.S. After the capture, cartel members set up 19 roadblocks, including at Culiacan's airport and outside the local army base, as well as all points of access to the city of Culiacan. But the Mexican Air Force was able to fly Guzman to Mexico City despite their efforts, and he was taken to the offices of the Attorney General's Organized Crime Special Prosecutor.
Interpol announced on Thursday that an Eritrean national described as one of the world's most wanted human traffickers was arrested in Sudan after an international manhunt led by the United Arab Emirates. In an online statement, the France-based police agency said that the suspect, identified as Kidan Zacharias Hatemariam, is accused of leading a criminal organization that abducts, extorts, and murders East African migrants trying to cross the Mediterranean Sea from Libya.
Les enfants, il faut les protéger parce que la convention.
Interpol said that the international operation lasted 9 months and also involved Dutch, Ethiopian, and Sudanese authorities. Hatemariam had been the subject of 2 Interpol red notices, one from Ethiopia and the other from the Netherlands. Dutch authorities accused Hotmariam of running a camp in Libya that housed thousands of migrants. Hotmariam was convicted in absentia and sentenced to life imprisonment after escaping from custody in Ethiopia while on trial for human smuggling charges in 2020.
I always needed time on my own. I never thought I'd be here.
I take your blessings with your heartaches too. It's so easy and so wonderful to know it's you.
学习，一切从今天开始。FUNDAY 英语。
Genealogical records review on the PBS show Finding Your Roots revealed that Pocahontas, the mythologized 17th century Native American woman, is the 12th great-grandmother of actor Edward Norton. The PBS history show confirmed Norton's long-standing family lore on a recent episode, with host Henry Louis Gates Jr. telling the American actor, "You have a direct paper trail, no doubt about it. Connection to your 12th great-grandmother and great-grandfather John Rolfe and Pocahontas."
Today we are talking about Pocahontas, a woman whose story has lived in our imagination for centuries. But who is the real woman behind the myth?
Pocahontas, the daughter of Pound Town chief, welcomed British settlers to present-day Virginia in the early 17th century. According to legend and records, she saved the life of Captain John Smith, stopping his accusation by placing her head on his. She married Englishman John Rolfe in 1614 and died 3 years later in Gravesend, England. They had a son, Thomas, in 1615. Norton, the star of such films as Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery, and Fight Club, said the revelation just makes you realize what a small piece of the whole human story you are.
The U.S. State Department has said it will largely stop writing the word Turkey and instead call the country Turkey, agreeing to a request by the Turkish government, which resents the inadvertent association with poultry. In a statement, the U.S. State Department wrote of joint action between the United States and Turkey, written with an umlaut over the U. The U.S. State Department spokesman Ned Price said the Turkish embassy did request that we use this spelling in our communications.
Right?
Turkey. Turkey and Turkey.
Turkey or Turkey. Yeah.
Price said the department will use the spelling that you saw today in most of our formal diplomatic and bilateral contexts, including in public communications. But he said Turkey was not forbidden when in furtherance of broader public understanding, as it is more widely understood by the American public. The Pentagon has been writing Turkey since an August statement on a call between the NATO allies defense chiefs, and the State Department has occasionally used the spelling on social media.
According to media reports, despite being the birthplace of the humble rice cooker, a decline in appetites for the grain and cost savings to be found elsewhere are prompting Panasonic to end production in Japan. Instead, the Osaka-based manufacturer will transfer production to the eastern Chinese city of Hangzhou by June 2023. Panasonic has made its popular rice cookers in Japan since 1956. The move symbolizes a shift underway in a country that once led the development of a device now ubiquitous throughout Asia.
To cook rice with reduced starch, but also taste great? Yes, of course, with the new Panasonic IH rice cooker.
The media reported that Japan's shrinking and aging population and changing lifestyle habits among the young have seen rice consumption more than half since the mid-1960s. That has meant shrinking domestic margins for firms like Panasonic, which already produces low-end rice cookers in India. The company expects to move to China, where many of its rivals and suppliers are based, to improve production efficiency and profitability.
The Sudanese mineral resources company announced it produced 18 tons of gold in 2022, marking its best year ever. The company said it is the highest productivity in the history of the mineral sector in Sudan. Sudanese officials said in a press statement on Monday, January 2nd, that the 18 tons and 637 kilograms of gold produced in 2022 originated from the production of the organized sector of concession companies and companies dealing with traditional mining waste.
Gold business in Sudan seems to be booming as more people exchange the precious metal for cash.
The media reported it is estimated that over 50% of Sudan's gold is smuggled out of the country. The Central Bank of Sudan issued a new circular to banks and related authorities in March 2022, banning the export of gold by government agencies and foreigners, individuals, and companies, excluding concession companies operating in mining. The circular also limited the role of the Central Bank of Sudan to purchasing gold for the purpose of building reserves only.
FUNDAY News will help you sharpen your English skills and keep you informed about international current events. If you want to know more about our other programs and keep learning about the world's most important topics in English, please click the link in the description below to join FUNDAY for free. I'm Johnny Wu, your host. I will see you next time.